The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Jackson County Fire District Number 4, Oregon, on your new Pierce Fire Apparatus, job number 40970. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation. Starting first with a quick look at the front of the vehicle, we'll start now at the very top section with your emergency warning light bar, a forward-facing floodlight, and then 5 identification clearance lights. Moving down, you'll find 3 windshield wipers across the seamless one-piece windshield. Unit identifier 30 Shady Cove. As we move into the emergency warning lights, you'll find 2 emergency warning lights just above the headlight structure housing a low and high beam headlight. Also, you'll find a winch located in the front of the front bumper. Let's take a look at some of these items. First, starting with the D handle to gain access into the winch spool area, and also controls. Protruding through the front bumper, you have a cutout here for the winch cable. As we move to the outer edges of this space, you'll find your emergency siren PA speaker system and then also your air horns. Located directly under the front bumper, you'll find 2 tow hooks. These are operational use, not intended for towing the vehicle, 6,000-pound direct pull. You'll also find a mechanical siren topside on the driver's side, side-facing emergency warning light on the bumper extension. Let's take a look at the cab now on the side of the vehicle. And we'll start first with the A-pillar, where you'll have a mirror, which is a flat and convex mirror. You'll also find there easily accessible your door lock and latch combination and a grab handle next to each point of entry. In the forward A-pillar, you'll find a marker turn indicator light, and as we move into the stepwell area, this is the location for your shoreline power and then also air inlet. Let's take a look at the shoreline. This is an auto eject, and then also your airline is auto eject. We do have an LED light illuminating the stepping surface in this area also. Let's move to the door panel. Affixed to the door panel are safety and warning placard information, along with this yellow placard indicating the date of manufacture, 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, and cold tire inflation, including the VIN number and all of the fluid and component capacities. Also, as we look to the warning placards, you'll find warning, caution, and danger placard information within this area. Electric window control for all 4 cab windows. And then as we move into the door lock and latch, there are grab handles at each location. Moving now to the door unlock, you'll find in the center section a manual lock located, also a grab handle. As we move into the space itself, let's start first at the lower portion of the seat area, at the seat riser. When plugged into shoreline power, the battery voltage status center will indicate battery status. At the base of the seat cushion, you'll find slide control front to back and also an air up and down. As we move to about the left knee of the operator, you'll find your master battery switch, quarter turn. It's the silver switch. Also, the green is your engine transmission J1939 diagnostic port. We also have ABS diagnostics, DPF regen, engine diagnostics, and regen inhibit switches. Just to the right of the steering column is where you'll find your pump shift. There are instructions from road to pump and also from pump to road. Just a reminder, when activation for pump operation, you'll need 2 green indicators indicating first pump engaged and OK to pump for exiting the cab. Let's move to about the left dash area at the top section, where you'll find your start and ignition switch. You'll also find a switch labeled EM, which stands for Emergency Master. This engage or disengage all emergency lights, headlight switch, and a panel switch. On the steering column itself, you'll find turn indicator and also windshield wiper control and pull for high beams. As we look to the dash cluster, diagnostic information displays above and below. Moving now to the steering column, where you'll find a push air horn in the center location. And as we move to the right, you'll find your OK to engage the high idle indicator and switch. Also to the far right is where you'll find your main mirror control and convex mirror control for the passenger and driver mirror. Just up from this location, you'll find the yellow diamonds, the pull-to-apply system parking brakes. Those are the rear spring brakes, and an Allison transmission pad. Scene lights for front scene, driver scene, passenger scene, rear scene, and load manager. To the right of this location, you're going to find your siren control module and PA speaker system. Also, some additional switch panels here. Located first with engine brake on and off, engine brakes low, medium, and high, tire chain activation, which is a protected switch, and mirror heat. In the very top section, you'll find your monitor for your backup camera, and also just below that, climate control for heat, air conditioning, and defrost. Moving all the way to the right-hand side, you'll find a faceplate here that has a mechanical siren, siren brake, and 12-volt access USB-A. Overhead of the driver's space, you're going to find this yellow placard on the far left-hand side. This is the height of the vehicle, which is 10 feet 4 inches, length 28 feet 7 inches, gross vehicle weight rating 42,000 pounds. Switch panels for emergency lights, so emergency master, roof, front, side, lower, and upper rear warning. Moving to the right, an additional switch panel located here. We have a few switches here for high beam flash, siren and horn, and then any future switches. As we move to the center area, you'll find push on and off red or white lens lights and your air conditioning unit. As we move to the exterior, at the top of the compartment here is your side-facing scene light. Just below that, you're going to find a D handle that gains you access into the EMS space or storage location behind the driver's seat. Moving now directly over the front axle is where you'll find your certified clean idle from Cummins. And then also as we move down, you'll find your front axle. We have Goodyear tires, Alcoa wheel, and a visual sight gauge into the center of the axle. Moving now to the rear cab wall, where you'll find a water tank level indicator. As we move down, easily accessible with a gloved hand, this is the rear portion of the cab. These are your door lock and latch combination and a grab handle. On the actual door panel, you'll find safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch, window control, and also a grab handle. You'll also find at the hinge point a red grab handle for gaining access into the rear portion of the cab. Window control located here. And then as we move down, you'll also find a grab handle. Let's go back to those warning placards here, indicating caution, warning, and danger information. Across the very bottom, we do have some scuff plate located here for visibility when the door is open for traffic. And then also into the step area, you'll find an LED step light located in the upper left-hand corner of this space. Let's now move into the rear portion of the cab area. We'll start first with EMS compartments on the outer edge. In the lower section of those EMS compartments is where you'll find your heater located here in the image. Let's take a look inside the roll-up compartment doors just above the heater. You have LED lighting inside the compartment and the ability to add shelving. Also in between the two of those is the rear portion of the engine. Trigger latch here gains you access to the rear checks for oil and transmission. As we look overhead, you'll find your vent for your air conditioning unit. And then as we look to the seats themselves, you can see there is SCBA brackets within the seat back. And just above that, you'll find your headsets located on each seated position. In the ceiling level, you'll find AM/FM speakers. And now let's move to the exterior of the pump panel area. Let's move up into the dunnage section first. And we'll start first with your MasterStream device. It is an Extend-A-Gun. And then let's move to the crosslays, where you'll find two, crosslay 1 and crosslay 2. Both of these are foam capable. Grab handle located in the very top section for getting into the dunnage area. And let's move on to the pump panel next. We'll start in the upper left-hand corner first with a warning label indicating entanglement hazard. That's because of those lines coming from the left-hand side. You'll also find a placard here for your minimum operation maintenance schedule for 150, 200, and 250 psi. In the gray module, intake and discharge master gauge, test gauge ports for vacuum and pressure, currently plugged, utilized for testing purposes. Water level gauge, LED, indicating the amount of water in your water tank. We do have a large diameter passenger side discharge. It's a wheel valve and a pressure gauge. Also, deluge discharge, pressure gauge, wheel valve, incremental changes within the valve itself. Your vehicle is equipped with a foam system. This is the Foam Pro operating instructions and on-off switch. To the right, you have a foam level indicator and also a pressure throttle governor, along with panel lights and an informational LED light indicating OK to pump. As we move down, you'll find all of our color-coded and labeled discharges. If they're indicating they have a red placard, they're indicating that they are foam capable. To the right side, you'll find an engine cooler. This is a twist, not a pull. Just down from that, you're going to find underneath it the tank fill and recirculating line. Just underneath this valve location, you'll find your tank to pump. And then let's move down now into the next section of the pump panel, where you'll find two 2.5-inch discharges. And down at the very bottom section, all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains, along in this section with a garden hose outlet. This is the outlet here. And then we have two 2.5-inch discharges located on this side, discharge 1 and discharge number 3. The American flag Eagle Pierce logo is your large diameter driver's side pump inlet. As we move further to the right, we do have an air primer located here. It is a push to prime, and there are instructions for at least 1,000 RPMs for best practices. This is located here. Moving further down, you'll find the main fire pump drain. It is a pull handle. And then just underneath that pull handle, you'll find a black handle. This is going to be your manual pump shift. As we move down, you'll find a pan door for gaining access. Lift the handle and turn. This gains access to your foam calibration and also flush. Underneath this location, you're going to find driver rear discharge, driver side 2.5-inch pre-connect discharge. These are your drains. There's also a 2.5-inch auxiliary inlet located here. Female coupling, locally controlled via the ball valve. Some additional warning placards here regarding warning. Pressure hazard caps may be under pressure. Also a Watrous placard indicating the capacity of your pump 1,500 and pump model. As we move down, once again, across the very bottom section, you'll find all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains. Let's move down to the running board, where you'll find a cutout section here, dry deck material, Velcro. This is for your suction hose. And then also on the vertical wall, you'll find fold down steps for gaining access into the dunnage area. As we move into the compartments, let's identify a few items within this space. First, we'll start at the closest in front of the axle. We have a pull-out tray in the lower section, floor mounted. Release for that is going to be located on the right-hand side. You can see it here pictured. Here's a close-up of that image. There's also adjustable shelving in that compartment. Let's take a look at the over wheel compartment. As we look into this compartment, we'll find a tool board. It's adjustable both front to rear, and then the D handle will gain you access to the rear portion. When that tool board has been open and fully extended, it will lock into position. The release located on the hinge side, as you can see here. Let's take a look at some warning lights. Directly over the rear axle, you'll find a side-facing emergency warning light, M6. And then as we move now into the forward section of the wheel, you'll find a lift and turn. Gain you access behind the pan door here for bottle storage for SCBA bottles, 3 bottles with retaining straps. Also location of your marker turn indicator light just in front of the rear axle. Let's move down to the rear portion of the axle. Same thing, lift and turn latch gains you access into this pan door. Combination, SCBA bottle storage location, fill location for ultra low sulfur, and also DEF. The blue cap exposed there is your DEF fill. The silver cap is your ultra low sulfur diesel. As we move to the rear axle, once again, Alcoa wheel, Goodyear tire. Behind that, you're going to find a mud flap. And then further back is where you're going to find our storage location for the folding wheel chock. Let's take a look up to the hatch area, where you'll find a side-facing scene light. This is toward the rear of the apparatus in the hatch area. Also, rear compartment here. Let's take a look inside the roll-up compartment door. We have some adjustable shelving in this space, and then also in the lower portion, a pull-out tray, and then also the very back portion is a through compartment. This is your tray in the bottom section. Release mechanism for pulling this tray out is located on the right-hand side. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rear portion of the apparatus. We'll identify a few items within this space. We'll start first in the upper left-hand corner, where you have a D handle to gain you access into the rear portion of the hatch area. Also just below that, rear-facing scene lights located here. And then we also have the wildland hose, or just hose storage location for wrapping hose while transporting. Hose bed lights, rear scene light cup switched, and then at the very bottom section, emergency warning light, brake, turn, and reverse light. I do have some additional warning placards located in this area. Let's start first. Warning, entanglement hazard, fall, never ride on the vehicle while it's in motion, and while climbing on or off, please face the vehicle. License plate location here with LED lighting. As we move now into the center section of the hose bed area, you'll find hose bed dividers. And then also directly in the center, you're going to find a backup camera and LED water tank level indicator. On the vertical side sheets, we're going to find some fold down steps for gaining access to the rear portion, along with some discharges. We have a 2.5-inch discharge located here. And then also just to the right of that location, a direct tank fill locally controlled via the ball valve, 2.5-inch. As we move to the right, we have a passenger rear discharge. And in the very bottom section, engine 30 roll-up compartment door. Inside, we have an adjustable shelf and also a pull-out tray. On that pull-out tray on the lower right, that's going to be the release mechanism for pulling the tray outward and also locking it into position. Let's take a look in the upper right-hand corner. D handle gains us access into the rear portion of the hatch area. Just below that, we have rear scene light. And then if we look just to the left of this location, an additional D handle long compartment here. This is for our ladder storage. Inside the ladder storage, we have a 24-foot extension, 14-foot roof, 10-foot attic, some pike poles, and also some trash hooks. Additionally, we have the rotational outward hose holder here for your scene hose. And then also as we move to the bottom, we have emergency warning, brake, turn, and reverse light cluster. We're moving now to the rear portion of the tailboard, where you'll find on the tailboard 3 lights located here in the tailboard embedded, and then also a tow hitch. As we move around to the passenger side of the vehicle, let's take a look. We'll start at the top portion hatch, where you'll find a side-facing scene light. As we move down into the rear compartment, roll-up compartment door, we have the same configuration and layout as we do on the passenger as we do on the driver's side. Adjustable shelves, pull-out tray, through compartment access. In this compartment, though, we do have, when plugged into Shoreline Power, we have an additional outlet here for charging of items. Also in the lower compartment, pull-out tray, same thing, release mechanism located on the lower right-hand side. Let's move to the over wheel compartment. In the compartment, you'll find 2 adjustable shelves. You're also going to find on the upper left-hand corner on the vertical sidewall, 110 access via Shoreline Power. To the rear of the axle, lift and turn latch will gain us access in for additional storage. In this space, we're going to find SCBA bottle storage and then also a second SCBA bottle storage. Emergency warning light to the very rear section. Side facing, this is just to the rear of the axle. And as we move forward of the axle, lift and turn latch gains us access into this storage space, where we'll find bottle storage for 3 SCBA bottles. To the front axle, you're going to find your marker turn indicator, also a warning placard here, extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures. Be cautious where you park your vehicle, especially during regen operations. This is the side of your exhaust. Rear axle, Goodyear tires, Alcoa wheel. Moving forward to the forward compartment, you'll find adjustable shelving located here. Let's move from this location to the pump panel area on the passenger side. Starting up at the very top section forward, where you'll find your crosslays. Once again, crosslay 1, crosslay 2. As we move into the pump panel itself, we do have some lighting within this area to illuminate the walking surface at the bottom section, and then also the pump panel. We do have also a pan door located in this section so we can access the pump panel contents, and also some warning placards here regarding entanglement hazard. This is because of those lines coming from a loft. Moving into the pump panel, you'll find a light switch located here, and then also our cab lift. There are instructions for its operation with some caution and danger placard information. In the lower section of the pump panel, we have an access door in the upper left-hand corner. This access door is for gaining access behind the pump panel so that you can access the relief valve located here in the image. As we move to the American Flag Eagle large diameter pump inlet on the passenger side. Forward of this is the large diameter discharge, and then also a 2.5-inch discharge forward of this location. In this area, we do have some warning placards here indicating pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. And then across the very bottom section, we have all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains. We also have on this side an auxiliary inlet, which is a 2.5-inch, locally controlled here on this side via the ball valve. That's a female inlet. And across the very bottom, color-coded and labeled discharges again. Also on this side, we have a warning placard indicating that only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment, and that's only after receiving proper training. As we move into the running board space, you'll find a notch here, dry deck material, Velcro tie down for your supply hose. We're moving now into the cab section. Let's start at the very top rear portion of the cab where you'll find an LED water tank level indicator. And then also we have grab handle and then access located here with a latched, easily accessible with a gloved hand. It is keyed. As we move back into the door panel, once again as a reminder, safety and warning placard information here, door lock and latch combination. Next to that is where you'll find the window activation for up and down, and then also a grab handle. As we move to the very bottom section, some additional warning placards here, and then across the very bottom section, NFPA requirement for the reflective tape here if the door is open in traffic. At the hinge location, we have a red grab handle for gaining access in and out of the cab. In the step well area, we have additional LED lighting for illuminating the step area. And then let's go ahead and look into the EMS compartment here on this side. This is the heater located at the bottom of the EMS compartment. As we move up, you'll find the compartment roll-up compartment door. And then let's continue to move up further up toward the roof line where you'll find at the top your intercom system and then also an AM/FM speaker, push on and off white or red lens lights, along with your air conditioning unit, air pack located here in the back of the seat. And now we'll move back to the exterior just above the compartment access door. You're going to find a side-facing scene light. D handle will gain you access into this space of the door behind the officer seat, where you have the ability to add adjustable shelving. There is already LED lighting. As we move down to the bottom, you'll find your wheel housing an Alcoa wheel and also Goodyear tire. Moving forward, you'll find your mirror housing a flat and convex mirror. At each point of entry, you're going to find the grab handle and also door latch. Just a quick look here at your unit identifier, Jackson County Fire, number 4. As we look to the door panel, a fixed door panel, once again, safety and warning placard information. Electric window control located here. Grab handle and then also your door lock and latch combination. As we move to the lower section, the door panel, you'll find that reflective sticker here for NFPA requirements for visibility if your door is open. Into the stepwell area, into the driver's seat, passenger seat, we're going to find on the A-pillar the fill location for your windshield wiper fluid. Just up from this location on the hinge side is also a grab handle. And then let's go ahead and move into the officer space. We'll identify a few items within this area. First, starting on the outside edge, we have a switch panel housing all of our rear scene, passenger scene, driver's side scene, and front scene. Your AM/FM weather band radio located here in this space. You'll also find your FireCom control module for volume control and squelch. And then just on the underside of the upper section, you'll find your FireCom wireless control module. And then moving further up, we've got some pull lanyards here for your air horns. And then also speakers inside for the AM/FM radio. And then intercom hooks for your headsets. The officer seat also has a SCBA bracket in the rear portion. As we move toward the dash area, you'll find a USB-A access. As we move to the seat itself, we'll find control here for air controls front to back. To the exterior now, where you'll find on the A-pillar the marker turn indicator light, and then just under this space, you'll find the drain for that front inlet. As we move now to the bumper extension, you'll find a side-facing emergency warning light. And then just up on the top of this location, top side of the extension, you're going to find a foam-capable swivel discharge. And then also back to the headlight structure, emergency warning lights. Moving toward the bumper extension in that space, we're going to find additional storage here for hose storage. And then we'll take a look inside this space also. Congratulations, Jackson County Fire District number 4, Oregon, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 40970. If you have any questions, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.